Did the boys stop scoring yet? The St. Louis Cardinals unload on Aaron Nola and the Phillies to win their fourth straight series.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on X at JD Sports Radio. Follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals on X. We're also on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and comment. Hit that notification button so you know when new episodes are posted. Also available on TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. After a tough loss in game one of their doubleheader on Wednesday, not a bad loss. Not a bad loss. If you saw the last episode, not a bad loss. Couple of things to tweak and improve on, but nothing to freak out about. It was a tough, tight ball game that the Phillies just won. It's going to happen. Reports were that the Cardinals clubhouse was still nice and loose and excited to get on with things and move on to game two. The winning streak was going to end eventually, so no big deal. Best thing to do is just focus on the next game, which is one of the great things about baseball. You know, when it comes to other sports, more like football, where you got like a whole week, you got to wait to, get the bad taste out of your mouth from a game. At least in baseball, normally you just move on to the next game right away. Doubleheader on Wednesday, so you really got to move on quickly from that 2-1 loss in game one. You had Sonny on the mound. Been solid over his last few starts, so you liked your chances. You loved them even more after the Cardinals opening up the top of the first inning by scoring a run and taking the lead. Newt gets that leadoff single, Wynn singles, some beautiful base running on that Mason Wynn base hit by the Cardinals, who take second and third on Phillies left fielder Max Kepler. Again, little stuff like that is going to go a long way for a team that doesn't have just all these massive sluggers and high-paid all-stars and stuff. They got to do little things like that to pull out wins against good teams, and they take advantage of Max Kepler in left field. I loved it. I know Cardinals fans very much appreciate those things. Donnie strikes out, but Arenado gets the job done by grounding the ball to the right side. That gets Newt in. It moves Mason Wynn over. 1-0 Cardinals. Good, smart baseball, just the way we like it in St. Louis. But then the bottom of the first inning happens. And you're like, what in the actual funk just happened? Like, what? Sonny gets absolutely blasted in the bottom of the first inning. They put up a 5 spot. And they do it with 2 outs, too, which is just like salt in the wound. It stings, man. And I remember reading the tweets as this game began. And I saw them as the inning ended. And boy, oh boy, the trolls came out of their caves and were spitting all sorts of venom. Things like, oh, Sonny Gray is washed up. Why is this guy in the league? He's a disgrace. Can't believe that the Cardinals thought this was their ace. What a waste of money. Just on and on and on and on. During this winning streak, one of the best things about it is that you didn't hear a whole lot of that stuff coming from the peanut gallery, the trolls. They kind of went away for a little while because it's hard to complain about a team that was playing as good as they were and had won as many games as they had in a row. Doesn't mean they all vanished. They were still out there, still trying to find things to rip on, making fun of Jordan Walker for not being God's gift to baseball yet, all kinds of things. And I hate giving it attention, but I'm just saying this is where people were. I'm trying to show you how quickly things can flip. I didn't hear a whole lot of fire Mo, fire Ollie, sell the team during that 9-game winning streak. Cardinals suck. I didn't hear all that stuff all that much. And it was refreshing to not have all that negativity constantly popping up. But then Sonny goes and gets his brains beaten in that first inning. And as deflating as it was, I didn't feel like that game was over. My initial thoughts were, well, there's still 8 innings to go. It's a 4-run game. It wasn't 15-1. It was a 4-run game. Still 8 innings to go. I know that the ballpark in Philadelphia clearly meant for offense. Aaron Nola hasn't been great. They scored on him in the first inning. I wasn't freaking out. Last year or the year before, I would have felt a lot less confident for sure. The offense this year is just different. It is. The changes in their approach each and every at bat that Brant Brown has implemented has made a world of difference. I am still like, wow. I never thought a hitting coordinator, a hitting coach, whatever you want to call the title, could have this much of an impact on what the same group of guys that were here last year and how much better they look and how much different they look at what they're doing at the plate. Obviously, you've had the progression of guys like Ivan Herrera and Victor Scott. Those have been huge. A couple of spots in the order last year that, weren't so good, like center field for sure. And now you're getting really good production out of that spot. So after going down 5-1, I wasn't switching channels by any means. I'm in it. And I'm glad I didn't. And for those of you who did switch away, shame on you, because the Cardinals stormed back. And by the end of the top of the third inning, they had a 6-5 lead. Newt got it going. Let's throw up a picture of Newt, shall we? Where is he at? Where's my guy? Newt. There he is with Willie. Newt got it going with his 7th home run of the season. He makes it 5-2, leads the team in that category. A healthy Newt Bar is finally showing you why so many thought so highly of him. I'll admit, I was one of the guys asking this offseason, is Newt overrated? Are we sure he's going to be that good? We're finding out the answer is, yeah, he's pretty good. Just got to keep him on the field. Mason Wynn refused to chase in his next at-bat. He takes a walk. Donnie doubles. Now it's 5-3. Nato, again, grounds to the right side to get the guys over. I don't recall watching Arenado actively trying to hit the ball to the opposite field to move runners over ever. And maybe I'm just noticing it more now, but he was a dead pull hitter. And twice in this game, in the first 3 innings, he does the unselfish thing at the plate, isn't trying to yank it over to the left side, isn't trying to jack one out of the park. He's trying to do a job and get the runners over. And he does it twice. So bravo. I love that. Contreras grounds to third. Honestly, was shocked that the Phillies didn't go home on that play, but they were willing to concede the run. So thank you very much. That made it 5-4. And then arguably the best hitter on this team, Ivan Herrera, singles to bring in Burley to the plate. And normally I hate it when Alec Burleson swings at the first pitch, when any other Cardinals swing at the first pitch, especially in situations where there's a pitcher who's on the ropes, he's struggling a little bit or having trouble just with his location altogether. I hate it. And I understand the philosophy sometimes of it because they'll be like, well, they're trying so hard to just get one over the plate that they might groove one and you want to jump on it, you want to ambush it. I do understand that, but certain times I'm just like, I want to pull my hair out. But Burley is not that guy normally. He's more than willing to take a crack at that first pitch more times than not. He gets a fat 4-seamer from Aaron Nola. Not down the pipe, but close enough, like closer to the middle than the outer portion of the plate. He's able to extend his arms and hits a frozen rope 2-run shot, 6-5 Cardinals. 106.7 miles per hour off the bat, stuns the crowd in Philadelphia. I'm cheering at home. I'm so excited. And it wasn't over. The carnage continued in this game, as will we. We will continue as well to discuss the final numbers because the Cardinals got some hot hitters right now. I want to go through those with you. I want to talk about how this bullpen stopped the gashing wound that Sonny Gray left from bleeding into the later innings. And I got 3 things I want to point out that I absolutely hate about playing the Phillies in Philadelphia. All right. We're going to get to all of that coming up on Locked On Cardinals. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trade. Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product information to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you're going to find exactly what you need. It's going to get delivered to you fast from coast to coast. So it doesn't matter where you are in the U.S., they got you. If you need help with an order, it happens, right? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, and you always get to talk to a real person. And for you trade pros looking for an extra edge, they're going to hook you up here too. Their free TradeMaster program, that's right, free TradeMaster program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, plus discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the TradeMaster program today at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering your plumbing, your HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, you can use the promo code SH5, get 5% off your first order. That's at supplyhouse.com. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube and on X anytime you want. Your feedback is always welcome and encouraged. After the top of the third inning, the Phillies, being the veteran team that they are, probably were not in panic mode by any means. You can't look at that after you lose a 5-1 lead. You can't look at it as if you just blew that lead, that you blew a 4-run lead. You can't look at it that way. You got to look at it as if now you're just trailing 1-0. All right. That's the mental side of things when you do blow a bigger lead. Like, you can't think about it like that. You gotta switch it around in your brain. And 1 run is not a big deal when you have the firepower that the Phillies possess. And that brings me to the 3 things that I hate about playing the Phillies in Philadelphia specifically. Number 1, Bryson Stott's walk-up song. Now, the song itself is not a bad song, but it gets stuck in my head every time that dude comes to the plate, and I want to take a power drill to my own skull to get it out. I find it so annoying. I hate it. It drives me nuts. And I know it was his song since he got called up to the major leagues, and it was a big deal in their playoff run, but I'm over it. And I'm glad that I don't have to hear it anymore because it drives me up a wall. Number 2, cheesesteak chatter. Every freaking time the Cardinals go to Philadelphia, you got to hear about the visiting clubhouse cheesesteaks and how delicious and flavorful they are and meaty and, how they smell so good and this and that. The reason I get upset about it is because I am jealous. I don't have a clubhouse cheesesteak in front of me, and I can't get one. So I'm like, makes me want to go out and find one, but they're not going to be as good as the guys are talking about. They're not going to be as good as the ones the guys are getting in the visitors clubhouse. Jim the Cat Hayes posted a picture of his cheesesteak, and I was just like, why are you doing this to us? Rude. I've only been to Phillies Airport. I've never actually been in the city doing things. So I need to fix that, get my own cheesesteak. But that's just me being jealous because I don't have that. And number 3 is Kyle freaking Schwarber. He plays for them. It's nothing against Kyle Schwarber, the person. I wish he was on the Cardinals. He's so good. Bryce Harper is their superstar, gets the headlines. But Kyle Schwarber is the guy that stirs the Kool-Aid for the Phillies, in my opinion. I know they got a bunch of guys that are pretty good. Harper, Trey Turner, Castellanos. I know they got guys. But Schwarber is the dude, in my opinion. As he goes, they go. His power, his on-base ability, it is a game changer. And the funny thing is they broke his on-base streak in game 1 of the doubleheader. They're able to snap that. But he's tortured the Cardinals for so long, specifically when he's a member of the Cubs. And when he came up to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd inning, I was fully prepared to see exactly what happened. I had no doubt something like this was going to go down. Solo blast off of Sonny Gray to right field, ties the ball game, and just like that, we're knotted up again. And just like how the Phillies, after they gave up their lead, didn't freak out, the Cardinals on the same side of things had to look at it as just, hey, you know what? Brand new ball game, 0-0, 6-inning ball game. That's what we're working with. Let's go. Let's get to work. And if they were rattled at all after getting that game tied back up, it sure as hell didn't show. because they come out and score 3 more in the 4th inning. Mason Wynn ends up jacking that solo blast. Once again, gets it up in the air and over that left field wall. Then you get 3 straight singles, which mercifully ended Aaron Nola's night. They bring in the lefty to face Alec Burleson, and he says, brushes it off like, nah. I can hit a lefty too. Let me show you something. Rips a single up the middle. That plates 2 more. It's 9-6 Cardinals. They would go on to score 3 more in the 8th, 2 more in the 9th, and finish this one with 14 runs on 19 hits. A relentless attack on Aaron Nola and the Philadelphia Phillies pitching staff. It was the worst start in Aaron Nola's career, in his whole career. 3 2/3 innings, 9 runs, 12 hits, 3 home runs. That's just Nola. That's not the rest of the staff. That's just him. An absolute ass kicking. And if Philly fans weren't concerned before, they have got to be now. Nola falls to 1-7. The ERA is over 6. And they still got this awesome, pitching rotation. I don't feel sorry for Philly by any means. They still got Wheeler and Sanchez and Luzardo. But my, oh my, has Aaron Nola had a rough start to the year. Largest contract in Phillies history for a pitcher when he signed it. 7 years, $172 million. No opt-outs. He's got a no trade clause. He's going to be 32 next month. I'm not saying you give up on Aaron Nola by any means, but yikes. Still got 5 years to go on that deal. And it's not like the arsenal that he possesses is something that's going to get better as he gets older. Anyway, let's focus on our Cardinals. Let's focus on some good stuff. Final numbers for the offense on this one. Let's go back to Lars Nootbaar. Newt, 5 hits in the series, 3 in the doubleheader. Saw his average dip to 232 on May the 6th. Since then, he's batting .367, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and 34 plate appearances. He has been a godsend at the top of the batting order. It makes you wonder, and I know he wasn't healthy all these years, but it makes you wonder, why? Remember how I always joked around? I was like, Team Japan that just won the World Baseball Classic, they think he's a pretty good leadoff hitter, yet the Cardinals weren't doing that with him. Why? And now they are, and now he's healthy, and they're reaping the benefits. Alec Burleson, huge in game 2. Absolute monster. Drives in 4, home run to take the lead, pair of singles. One of them off the lefty, as I mentioned, to drive in 2. Slow start to the year for Burley, but in the month of May, he's hitting .313 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs in 34 plate appearances. We don't talk about how, the DH sucks anymore, do we? Because the DH does not suck. With Ivan Herrera and Burleson hot again, things are better, right? Mason Wynn, 4 hits in game 2. There he is doing the bird. Woo, woo. Since that over 20 start to begin the season, and people were, maybe he's not as good as we think. Mason Wynn is batting .333 since that over 20 start. He's got 5 dingers, 15 ribbies, and 13 games as the Cardinals' number 2 hitter, which is also a major move that Ali made. Remember, he brought Contreras down, moved Mason Wynn up. As the number 2 hitter in 13 games, he's hitting .347 with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. That move has absolutely worked. Brendan Donovan had been slumping a little recently. 0 for his last 11 coming into this game. It's going to happen. Nobody's freaking out about this by any means, but he pounds out 3 more hits, scores twice. He's batting .313 on the year. Ivan Herrera. Oh, Ivan. Do I have anything with Ivan on there? I don't think so in this one. 3 hits in game 2, 4 on the day. He's had a hit in every game since he returned from the IL. He's batting .389 with an OBP of .455 over that span. On the season, he's still batting .385. Things are going well right now for the Cardinals, so no real need to tinker. Why mess with a good thing, right? Just let it be, let it go, let it do what it needs to do. But at some point, I wonder if Ivan Herrera moves up to that cleanup spot and Nolan Arenado comes down to that number 6. We'll see. But like right now, there's no need to mess with it. Like just let it continue to be what it is. You know, him in that number 6 hole, it's working out just fine. Him behind Contreras, you know, he's kind of like that secondary cleanup guy. Everything's fine. No need to mess with it right now. I'm just wondering, just spitting out things, ideas that I wonder if Herrera gets scooched up at some point. But again, no need to mess with it now. Every starter had a hit in this game. Victor Scott steals 2 more bags. He's got 13 on the year. He continues to be a weapon at the bottom of the order. After 2 really tight games against the Phillies, very playoff-esque type of games, 3-2, 2-1. To bust out like they did and turn Aaron Nola, who's been one of the better right-handed pitchers in the game for a few years now, turn him into a batting practice pitcher. It's pretty awesome to watch. It's pretty awesome to watch. I was very excited. It made me excited to put on my ugly loud shirt because that's another series win. Everything wasn't perfect, though, in this game, right? Offense, not a whole lot to moan about. Sonny Gray was admittedly terrible. He was bad. But the bullpen was brilliant in keeping things quiet for Philly the rest of the way. We're going to discuss both of those things coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Was up late last night for the MLB Game Night. We didn't get to bed at like 3 a.m., which is part of the reason why this is coming out much later on your Thursday. But we kind of glossed over what happened with Sonny Gray and his start after the Schwarber bomb to tie it up in the 3rd inning. Cardinals retook that lead by a score of 9-6. And in the 4th inning, Sonny would get touched up again for another home run. This time it was Alec Bohm. Opposite field shot to cut the lead to 9-7. Sonny just didn't have it. I don't know what else to tell you. It was simple as that. Bad night, bad start. He was leaving certain pitches over the plate, even good pitches. Like the home run that JT Realmuto hit, it wasn't like some breaking ball right down the middle. It was low and in, and Realmuto just beat him. It was just one of those nights where it didn't really matter where Sonny Gray put it. If he was even hitting the corners, the Phillies were all over him. He just didn't have his good stuff. It happens. I wish he'd put a shirt on underneath his jersey. He looked like he was freezing out there. Like Sonny Gray's not a big dude. There's not a lot of meat on his bones in the first place to keep him warm. And he was out there in what it looked like just straight jersey, no undershirt. I don't know if he had a wife beater or anything on underneath that, but it looked cold. I was shocked that that's what was the comfortable outfit for him, but whatever, it didn't work. Whatever it was. So just a bad night for Sonny Gray. Like, it's going to happen from time to time. Even the best pitchers in baseball get torched. Tarek Skubal from the Tigers gave up 5 runs on Wednesday. So it happens. It happens. You just got to move on. Luckily, the Cardinals offense was exceptional, and their bullpen was up to the task after Sonny had to exit in that 4th inning. You had the combination of John King, Chris Roycroft, Jojo Romero, Phil Maton, and Matt Swanson all coming in. They take over. Final 5 and a third innings allowed no runs, 2 hits, 2 walks. They strike out 7. Elite. Incredible job. Seeing these guys embrace their roles and thrive, it's been awesome. It took some time to figure out who needed to be in what roles, but Ollie's got his plan now, and it's working out wonderfully. I am super encouraged by what I'm seeing from Chris Roycroft. The lower arm angle stuff, we already know, huge dude, lots of extension on his release, and him dropping down is giving him more movement on that sinker. And that thing can be nasty. Like you saw in that at bat against Bryson Stott. 13 pitches. Bryson Stott ends up winning the at-bat. him and that stupid song. And he gets the walk out of this. But it was a fun at bat because Roycroft was all over. Like Stott, the nasty movement that Roycroft had, Stott could not barrel it up. Like he just had foul ball, foul ball, foul ball. Give credit to Bryson Stott and his stupid song that they were able to foul all of those off. That's not normal. Eventually, the odds were that he was going to swing and miss. Ends up finally getting the walk. But I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Chris Roycroft. If he had some sort of better off-speed pitch that he trusted, he could really be something. Sinker, cutter, four-seamer is what he's working with right now. And I think because of this arm angle, like they're just like, dude, just get used to this first, and before we start messing around with any new pitches or whatnot, get used to throwing strikes with this newer arm angle. But I'm very encouraged by it. I think he's going to be a handful for right-handed hitters. It's just it has that look to it that he could have some nasty stuff. And I know that cutter, like it's like 5 miles an hour slower than the four-seam and sinker. I can only imagine if he added something else, just one other pitch that gets it down to, say, like 83 miles an hour. Like he could, I mean, that'd be nasty. Since the series versus Atlanta, Jojo Romero has now made 6 appearances. No runs, 2 hits, 4 Ks, has found his velocity again, back up to around 95. And apparently it's because he was hitting golf balls at Top Golf. Yeah, that's what Derek Gould reports. Had the story at stltoday.com, and he was going to the driving range to hit balls and was just there to smack the hell out of some, and figured out how to get his back hip to snap again. A little extra snap, which is how we figured out how to get the snap back in his fastball. You should read the whole story at scltoday.com if you haven't already, but that's how he got things right again. And he's been really, really good. Looks more like the Jojo Romero we're used to from last year. Phil Maton, obviously, has been solid. Has had only 2 hiccups really all season. Matt Swanson comes in, 27th man for the doubleheader, comes in, strikes out the side at the end of the game. What's his role going to be moving forward? Probably going to go back to Memphis for now, but nice to have that type of arm ready to rock if something were to happen. Steven Matz, he knows his role, has accepted it, has been very good in that role. Kyle Leahy, we've talked about. He's been awesome. Ryan Helsley's last outing was much better. A lot of good things happening for the St. Louis Cardinals as they head to Kansas City. Rivalry weekend is what it's called in MLB. So we got the I-70 series between the Royals and the Cardinals, which will kick off on Friday night. So looking forward to that, and hopefully a good weekend of baseball in Kansas City that'll fall the Cardinals' way. Thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow. We're on X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio, TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube, and help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason. Still 1 game out of first place in the NL Central behind the Cubbies. Chance to possibly get there this weekend. We'll see what happens. You're the best fans of baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.